poem. That is, nature was the source of all joy for Wordsworth. Nature for him was a living personality, just like a teacher, a guardian, and a nurse. And I would like to separate it into three elements to analyze. The first one, source of happiness. Obviously, when we together analyze this poem, we can see that the daffodils represent the nature, literally bring a lot of happiness, a lot of joyfulness to the author, and it became his source of inspiration to compose this poem. So that's the first point. The second point is a living personality. That is, we also see that in this poem, the personifications used a lot, and that is was used personifications in order to give the daffodils the characteristic of human beings. For example, dancing, and he used the phrase like a crowd to refer to the daffodils. And the last one, a spiritual guide. Actually, in this poem, is not reflect obviously, sir, but in other works of Wordsworth, he emphasized that the nature has a huge positive impact on human mind. That the nature it develop, it nurture the intellectual and spiritual of humans. So that is about the nature in Wordsworth poem. If you have more interest in this, so you can look for more information on the Google. So moving to the next part, Jo Long will introduce you about the rhythm. So I hope that you will enjoy her presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Camden. Yes. Okay, so far we have discussed two of the elements of this poem, which is the action and imagery. So now let's move on to the rhythm. Okay. So first of all, I would love you guys to listen to a recitation of the daffodils. Okay.
Châu Long ơi, hình như không có tiếng Châu Long.
You need to share the sound to lick share sound.
Okay, let me share it again. All right, thank you for your reminder. Let's try it again.
Daffodils.
Yeah,
can you hear it now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze, continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way. They stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft, when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills, and dances with the daffodils.
All right, so I hope that after listening to this piece of recitation, you guys can spot the rhythm of the daffodils. Let me show it. So we have, I will take 2 lines of this poem to illustrate the rhythm. And we have, I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills. So as you can see, we have 4 I ams in this illustration, and so we have 4 I ams in each line. Therefore, we will call it iambic tetrameter. So once again, iamb is a set of 2 syllables, including an unstressed and a stressed syllable. And we call it an iamb. Meter describes the pattern of unstressed and stressed in one line. And we have 4 meter in one line. Therefore, we will call it iambic tetrameter. So, why did William was use this rhythm in his poem? So the reason behind this is that this stress pattern, this rhythm, sounds easy and natural, and this one perfectly fits his romantic notion, which is poetic language should avoid artificiality. That means it should sound genuinely and natural. And besides, the lines in this poem are fairly short, so it sounds more direct and accessible. Okay, so once again, the predominant foot in this poem is iambic tetrameter. However, we also have some alternation in this poem as well, and here are some most significant alternation that Wordsworth did in this poem. So the first one is fluttering and dancing in the breeze. This is the last line of the first stanza. So, well, as you can see, the prominent foot should be iambic. The iambic should be stressed on the second syllable. But in the first meter, the first foot, we have fluttering. This word has 3 syllables, and it is stressed on the first one. So we can say that Wordsworth has altered the iambic tetrameter with a dactyl, replacing the first iamb. Similarly, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. This is the last sentence in the second stanza, and we have iambic tetrameter with a chalk key replaces the first iamb, which is tossing. You see, the prominent foot should be stressed on the second syllable, but in the first meter, it is stressed on the first syllable, which is toss instead of sing. Okay. So, and the reason behind this is that, well, in general, when a poet wants to alter the rhythm of their poem, they want to achieve a certain effects, And in this case, in this poem, words was want to describe and emphasize the moment of the daffodils. They are flirting. Sorry, they are fluttering and they are tossing their heads. In such lively movement, did capture the poet's attention. And so he wants to alter the rhythm a little bit to emphasize his emotion. And another alternation in this poem is continuous as the stars that shine. So you can see this sentence on the very first line of the second stanza. So what's different in this sentence? So in an am, we have 2 syllables, right? But in this one, in the second meter, we have 3 syllables. New as. And this extra syllable in continuous make the line literally longer. It sounds longer. And the effect of this is that it would mimic the long line of daffodils. It emphasized the long lines of daffodils. Okay, so that's it for the rhythm. So moving on to the sound, the 4th element of this poem. So let's review a little bit. Regarding the sound, we have some types, including onomatopoeia, that is the words that sounds like what they mean, such as his kiss out, and the second one is the alliteration. The third one is consonants, and the fourth one is assonance, and the last one is rhyme. So please have a look at the poem, The Daffodils. So the first one, onomatopoeia, we have fluttering. When you look up the dictionary, we can see that fluttering means the sound of the movement of the wings, or is the vibration. So when looking at fluttering and dancing in the breeze, you may feel, you may listen to the sound when the daffodils dancing in the breeze. Okay. The second one, alliteration, that is the repetition of consonant sounds at the beginning of words or accented syllables. And some significant example in this poem is that what is wrong? Please wait for me a minute. I cannot move on to the next one. There's something wrong with the technical.
Yes. I is freezing here. Yes, it's moving. Can you try? Yeah, okay, it works this time. Yeah.
Okay, sorry for that. So let's continue. So regarding the alliteration, we have beside, beneath. It is the repetition of be. Okay. Another sample would be, it's wrong. Another sample would be, I gazed and gazed, but little thought. Next, we also have word wells, the repetition of what. And finally, dances with the daffodils, the repetition of the in the first accented syllable. And about the consonants in the daffodils, that is the repetition of final consonant sounds. Okay, so I only pick one example for this. That is the wandered, I wandered, slowly as a cloud. The repetition of the sound at the end of this word. Okay. And about the assonance, the repetition of vowel sounds followed by different consonant sounds. We have 2 significant examples in this poem. That is the E sound in this line, they stretch in never-ending line. and the a sound in at a glance. Okay, and the last part I would love to mention in sound is the rhyme. The predominant rhyme in this poem is the masculine rhyme or the end rhyme. You see, the sample is hues and hues. Similarly, we have out here in cloud and crowd, trees, breeze, shine, light. Okay. So again, the masculine rhyme or the end rhyme is the predominant rhyme in this poem. So that's it for the sound. So now Nga will be in charge of the rest of our presentation.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Okay. I understand that this presentation has been quite long.
Yeah.
So I'm going to moving on to the very last part of element. We have a structure. So Wordsworth Daffodils or I Wander Lonely as a Clown does not follow Shakespearean sonnet or a Petrarchan sonnet structure. So before we move on to the next slide, I would like to ask, sorry, can we get back to the previous one? I would like to invite one participant in our class to remind us a little bit what is Shakespearean sonnet and Petrarchan sonnet. Okay.
They might not remember.
Ngọc Trần, how about you? Do you remember what is Shakespearean sonnet and Petrarchan sonnet? Ngọc Trần, are you there? Good morning. Okay.
Oh, why don't you have no idea?
It's okay.
I have no idea. That's fine for you not to remember the rhyming pattern, but you cannot say you have no idea. At least you know the terms are different. One from Britain and the other one from Italy, and the difference lies on the rhyming pattern. Okay, and we do have the slightly different in terms of the structures. Okay, instead of the quatrains, we have the what else do we have instead of quatrain in the others?
Octave.
Yes, we have quatrain and couplets in Shakespearean, and we have octave and test and Petrarchan. Yeah, at least you know that. So yeah, okay. Nga, you can move on.
Thank you very much for reminding us. So we're going to moving on to the next slide. So I mentioned that Daffodils does not follow any of Shakespearean or Petrarchan sonnet that we have studied earlier. But on the other hand, we have a general idea of the structure as I presented on the slide. So, for example, in the first stanza, we have I wander lonely as a cloud, rhyme with when a crowd in the third line of the stanza. Hues in the second line rhyme with daffodils in the fourth line. And then we have trees and breeze in line number 5 and line number 6, and they are couplet. So this kind of structure, this kind of way go through from 1 to 4 stanza, and we have a conclusion that Daffodils is a 4-6 line stanzas, and a 4-6 line stanza is a sestet, and each stanza rhyme scheme is A B A B. The first and the third and the second and the fourth lines rhyme, and the end of each stanza is a couplet. Then we have rhymes A B A B C C, D E D E F F, G H G H I I, and the last one J K J K L L. Very simple. Does not change technically. So that's just a general view of structure. We're going to moving on to number 3, daffodils. I'm going to talk a little bit about the main image of the spirit image of the poet, which is daffodils. We can move on to the next slide. So the daffodils in the poem are described to be in the first stanza to be there's a large number of golden daffodils, which presented through the word crowd or host. Then in the second stanza, the daffodils stretch along the shore and are sparkling like stars in the sky. And we can see this image through the lines continuous as the stars that shine and the line and twinkle on the Milky Way. In the third stanza, the poet compares the daffodils with the waves and emphasizes that the daffodils seem to be more joyful and happier, using the word Klee and Chakun and Chakun company. So the whole poem, we have daffodils are dancing happily in the wind. So that is how daffodils are described. And we have the symbolic meaning of the daffodil on the next slide. So daffodils are seen as rebirth and new beginnings. Why? Daffodils are some of the first flowers we see in the springtime and are a great indicator that winter is over. Because of this, they are seen to be represent rebirth and new beginnings. So from here, you can see why daffodils in the poet are so energetic, joyful, and cheerful all the time. They're dancing and they are a chosen company for Wordsworth. And that's the end of our presentation. Thank you very much for listening.
Is that the
everyone.
end of this presentation?
We have a discussion part.
Okay, so yes, like I said before, because we have 2 parts. 2 parts for the questions, but the questions in part A, they are for you to understand the poem, okay, more thoroughly. And if you need more interpretation, you have to look at the part B questions. So this group, Khánh Linh, Nga, Thảo Nguyên, everyone have presented, right? Everyone has presented. So would somebody be the host? Okay, you have to pick anybody in this class to answer the questions before you show your group suggested one. Châu Long, can you help me do this task? Okay, Châu Long, are you still here? Okay, Châu Long, would you please have pick anybody in the class to share his or her answer before showing your group's answer? Is it okay?
All right.
Okay, so everyone, because of the first one hasn't been covered in your presentation, right? So what is the implication of the use of the synonyms ground, host to refer to the daffodils? Why? Bảo Ly. Hello, Bảo Ly. Hi, Bảo Ly. Hello. Hello, Bảo Ly. Hello. Okay. Bảo Ly, I'm sorry, I do not hear you even. I see your microphone is on. Yeah, okay, I hear some sound from you.
Yes.
Hello. Hi.
The question 1.
Yeah, I mean the question number 1. Okay, the other ones, if you volunteer, you can lick raise hands and you can you can answer this because I find it that's kind of time wasting because some students they do not answer and we have to wait. Okay, so Kwate, would you please answer? Let's give what you think.
Yes. In the first question, I think the use of synonyms crowd and host refer to the glorious and plentiful of daffodils. And this may be the first time Williams had come across to in a large field of daffodils. So he maybe thought that he could still feel how thousands and thousands golden flowers were at his eyes can see.
Okay, so thank you for your answer, Kwate. I really appreciate your contribution. And the other ones, who else want to give your answer to this? I have found more than one volunteering for this, but after Kwate's answer, no more. Okay, so Châu Long, Gia Lệ Hải Long.
I think the poet used the synonym crowd and host in here is that because with the word crowded, crowd, he used it because he see the daffodils are packed tightly together. Yeah, and the host.
I'm sorry, Long. I accidentally mute you. Long, can you unmute?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just accidentally clicked on that. Yep.
Okay. And the host is a big group. As the daffodils are the large in numbers, so the poet refers them as a host. The figure of a word used in this synonym is I think the personifications.
Okay, yes. That's the point. Okay, very good, Long. We have two reasons. Actually, this is the way we interpret her actually, and we do not know why the writer, the author, decided to use crowd or host exactly. But according to the interpretation, okay, my own interpretation, there will be two reasons for him to choose the word ground and host. The first one to depict a large number of daffodils like Kwate and Long said before, and the other one, that is the way he employed personification, because ground and host, that is like the words co-located with people. And when the writer used ground and host, he treated daffodils as real human beings. Okay, so how about your Chris answers? Châu Long. I'm sorry, I forget asking you to share first. I'm sorry. Châu Long, can you show your Chris answers? Have you typed it out?
Miss, we haven't typed down.
Okay, but you share the same answer with us, right?
We share the same answer.
Okay. So the number 2, notice the intensity of light built up throughout the poem. 5 words used in the poem to illustrate this remark. What is intensity of light parallel to? Long, can you help me pick anyone? Long.
Yes.
I don't want to be that one, so I left the job for you. Okay, they would say, oh my God, she's so mean, and now Long, you have to be that mean one instead of me. Okay, let's choose anyone. Long.
Okay, so let's have a look at our participants today. All right. So I would love to hear an opinion from Wing, please. Wing, can you hear me?
Wing?
Wing.
Yes. Wing fan. Okay.
This is a question. I have no answer.
Oh no. So who has idea? Who has some idea on this? That is about the words used to illustrate the light. The words illustrating intensity of light throughout the poem. Okay, Hỷ Long. Long, hello. Long.
I'm here.
Yeah, okay.
But could I just answer the first part of this question?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so I think the words used to illustrate the intensity of light built up throughout the poem, such as the shining, twinkling, 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 sparkling, and flashing. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, would you please type the words in the chat box for your friend to see?
Okay.
Yes. Everyone, Hỷ Long's gonna send some words used to illustrate the intensity of light throughout the poem. Thanh Nhàn, do you want to add something? Nhàn. Hi Nhàn.
No, I have the same answer with Long.
You have the same answer. Okay, Ngọc Trân. Hi Ngọc Trân. Sure, yes. Mm. 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 Okay, thank you for the sharing. Long sent 4 words used in the poem illustrating the intensity of light throughout the poem, and Nhan has Ngọc has shared something about the second part of the question here. So the group presenting, would you please share what you think about this? What is the intensity of light parallel to? Hi. The group presenting by Khánh Linh, Long, Nga, Thảo Nguyên. What do you think?
From my point of view, the intensity of light parallel to the feeling of the poet. From the very beginning, he described himself as lonely as a cloud, and when it comes to the last stanza of the poem, the light built in his eye indicate that he no longer feels the loneliness. Maybe he still feel, but it becomes to be happier because of daffodils. And first of all, he described daffodils as sparkling, shining, twinkling in the stars in the sky. And at the end of the poem, it becomes his own happiness and joy and etc. So that is my opinion.
So yeah, thanks for the sharing. Everybody, you can take a look at the words by Hỷ Long, and he's right when picking those words because they demonstrate the intensity of light throughout the poem. And you can see all of those words are used to describe what in the nature, everyone? Are you to describe the stars, right? Shining, twinkling, twinkle, twinkle, little stars, okay? Sparkling. So the stars, something bright, something beautiful. And the intensity of light parallel to the stars, parallel to the hope and to the joy that the writer enjoys when he comes up with a crowd of daffodils. Okay? All right, everyone, are you with me? Hello.
Yes, I am
Okay,
with you.
yes, okay. Now, number 3. That's your turn to be the Wing Fang, you want to volunteer? Wing, what do you want to share? Wing?
I just want to answer this question.
You mean 3 or 2?
3.
Okay, yes, go on. Yeah, Wing. So
Um,
fast and furious. Okay, I don't even finish saying. Okay, yeah. So Wing first and then Thảo Linh later. Okay, Wing, let's go.
yeah. So I think the repetition is used here to show the strength of the author's feelings. He was just rather shocked by the scene he was observing, and he couldn't help just standing there and admiring.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yes, Thảo Linh, what do you want to add? Linh unmute.
Yes, I think the repetitions of the dance tell us that the author combined the soul of nature and the soul of man to unite into the harmony. And to him, the daffodils were close friends and encouraged him. And when the poet was feeling lonely, blue, and depressed, he thought that daffodils cheer him up, and that's why he feel happier when in his life there were so many friends from the nature.
Okay, yeah, Khoa Thay, it seems like everybody you fully understand this poem. I see a lot of volunteering today. Yes, Khoa Thay, let's continue.
Yes. I would like to add something to Wing opinion. In my perspective, the repetitions of the word dance in each of the 4 stanza was not only express the author feeling, but it would show the beauty of daffodils. I mean, the daffodils and others dance very well and beautifully. They have action and might like people.
Yeah, I agree with your last point. They are just like people, okay? Because when the writer used the word dance, okay, it's just like human being. And dance, when you dance, everyone, when do you dance? Do you dance when you are sad? No, right? Definitely not. You usually dance when you are happy, when you are like over the moon, okay? When you're over the moon to get the stars and you dance because you're happy. And this significance, the significance of the repetition here is the expressions of happiness, the joy. Is it okay, everyone? One more time, I forget to ask the group presenting.
We have the same answer. Don't worry.
Okay, so right. Number 4, Thảo Nguyên, can you help me to choose the other one to answer? Or if anybody volunteer, we don't need that. Okay, so I would like to ask anybody volunteer to answer the question number 4. Okay, so no one. Thảo Nguyên, can you help me pick? Thảo Nguyên.
Yes, miss.
Can you help me pick the name? Any name.
Thanh Nhàn, please answer this question.
Okay, Thanh Nhàn, hi Thanh Nhàn.
The question number 4.
Yep, the question number 4. The poem and result of what words poetry can be summed in the 3 words: observation, deliberation, and elimination. Observation, everybody knows it, right? Deliberation, that means considering, and elimination, that means understanding. So what do you think about this? In what ways the organization of ideas in this poem a good illustration of this remark? How can the organization of the ideas in this poem illustrate 3 parts of words poetry?
I think, in my opinion, there are many ways to organize the idea. The first one is the organization from far away to near near the flower field. The author was wandering in the forest and enjoying the beautiful nature around him, and so he saw the flower in the near distance.
Okay, so the other ones, anybody volunteer? Okay, so can the group have answered this? Hello. Yeah, the group presenting, can you have answered this? How can, yeah, Hải Long. Hải Long, can you unmute?
I just think that the poet observed the daffodils from far to near and from top to bottom to build up the good illustrations. It's just that I just think so.
Okay, now I need to hear from Huân Nga. How can this remark demonstrated in this poem?
Okay, so we have a similar answer to Hỷ Long, the observation element of the poem is that from great distance to a closer one and from high position to lower one. So the poet was wandering in the forest and enjoying the fascinating nature around him when he saw a crowd of golden flowers by the lakeside. The daffodils appeared to be beautiful, and he was compelled to gaze at these flowers playing with pleasure in the wind. That is the great distance to the closer one. And from the high position to the lower position, like from the stars, from the sky to the lower position to the earth, the poet feel the joy and beauty brought by the daffodils. That is the observation.
Okay, so I would like to add something here. Okay, in this poem, you do see we have 4 stanzas, right? 4 stanzas. The group, would you please have moved back to the slides where you have, okay, so I think I will share the whole poem. Do you have any slide with the whole poem? Yeah.
We have slides.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Okay, so everyone, you do see we have 4 stanzas here, right? 4 stanzas. And in the first 2 stanzas, we do see the observation. Okay, the writer stay there and see what's going on. You can see the observation in the first 2 stanzas, and then deliberation, that means considering. Okay, so in the 3rd stanza, the poet is having some thoughts on his mind, considering. You see here, the waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed, but little thought. So you can see the consideration demonstrated here. We do have the stage of deliberation. And the last one, that is illumination. This case, he's back to his present. For us, when on my couch I lie. You see, at this moment, he realized his present. He's not there. He's not there at the daffodils field. He's on his couch. So you do see the stage with illumination, or we say realizing, understanding. You got what I mean, everyone? So that's the way we have observation, deliberation, and illumination demonstrated in Wordsworth's poetry general and in this poem specifically. You understand what I mean? So we do have 3 stages in his poems. Is it clear, everyone? Hello?
Yes, it is.
Yes, okay. Now, can you continue showing us the question? Yes. Hi. Yes. Okay, I think we should move on quickly because we do have some questions answered in the group's presentation already. When it comes to what is symbolic meaning of the daffodils, your group has answered already. Would you please remind your friends of that? Number 5 and number 6 have been answered. Yes. Would you please?
So the symbolic meaning of daffodils.
Yeah, number 5, number 6, and number 8. Yeah, 5, 6, and 8, and 9 have been answered during in your group presentation already, if you pay enough focus.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So everybody, I would like to say that because the group presenting, they have answered that. So I think you should ask for the slides and then you can study that later because I don't think that is necessary for us to cover the ones we have gone through. You agree with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, the symbolic meaning of daffodil, you said that is a source of happiness, a living personality. I know, a
rebirth and beginning.
Yeah, the rebirth and the new beginnings. Okay, and we do have the major theme of the poem, the beauty of nature, loneliness and happiness, and the tone. Yes, everything have been discovered already. And now I would like to focus on the questions number 7. Yes, 5, 6, 8, 9 have been answered by the group already. So I just want to focus on the question number 7. In what ways is this a romantic poem? Câu 5, 6, 8, 9 là nếu mà các bạn nghe rõ, nghe thật sự kỹ thì như nhóm này đã trả lời rồi nha. Cho nên là có thể là các bạn sẽ xin slide để mình có thể là mình học lại ha. Nhưng mà nhóm này đã trả lời đúng những cái câu 5, 6, 8, 9 rồi. Bây giờ cô chỉ I just want to focus on the question number 7. Why this is a romantic problem? Is it okay? So yes, I think I will share my screen here. In what? Okay, just give me some more seconds. I need to switch to yes. In what ways is this poem? Is this a romantic poem? Okay. As you already know, we have a trend called romanticism in English, in British literature, and we do have some characteristics, okay? And if a poet express his mind and feeling, that is a romantic poem. And you do see that in this poem, the writer, the author, words express his mind, his feeling, okay? The feeling of happiness, joyful, okay? So we do have the love of nature. This is very obvious because we do see he adores the beauty of daffodils, okay? And we do have the imagination. Yes, we have the imagination to construct a fantastic dreaming word. Yes, and he can remove from time to time. You can see this very clearly from the paragraph 3 to paragraph 4, right? Actually, he's not seeing the daffodils at the present. That's just like a throwback. Understand? It's just like a throwback, and you can see he can remove from time to time when he's watching daffodils and now he's lying on his couch. And that's the reason why that is one of the significant evidence proving that this is a romantic poem, because we do have all of the features in this trend. And we do have the sense. Yes, we do have the sense of like, yes, actually we do have the sense of melancholy. No, like, I mean, nostalgia. Like he's like he wants to go back to time where he's observing, where he's like seeing, watching the daffodils. So these points show us that this is a romantic poem. Like, okay, clear, everyone? Yeah, I would like to help you with this because the questions here hasn't been addressed by the group presenting, and this is how I help you with that. Is it okay, everyone? We do not see the love of couples here. That is a love for nature. Okay, and thanks to the love to nature, we can explore, we can discover his feeling, and we do see the sense of nostalgia here. It seems like something wrong with my spelling, right? It seems like I missed something here. Is that? Am I right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct.
Okay, yeah, that's the reason why that's quite weird for the previous nostalgia. So everyone, is it clear? Yeah, okay. I don't think that you can like master the poems like this, because when I see your presentation, I really like happy because you can employ, you can apply what I have taught you, and you like you closely based on what I have told. Yes, and okay, thanks to your great performance, you have your 10 for that, but you should take my suggestion for your further development, for your further improvement. When you present about a poem, you'd better read the poem, or if you cannot read by yourself, you can play the audio of someone reading that before you come to analyzing the elements. Because like, imagine we haven't read the poem yet, so we need to know what it is, what it sounds. You understand what I mean, the group? Hello?
We did have the
Yeah.
audio played at
Yeah,
this.
I know you have it, but you should put it at the beginning of the presentation, which can make your presentation more efficient, more effective, because at least the audience know what you're talking about, and they can have some general idea, they can have some sense triggered. You know what I mean?
Understand. Yes.
Yeah. Ok, tức là cái nhóm của bạn là rất tốt về nội dung, rất tốt, nhưng mà mình chỉ cần switch một chút về cái thứ tự mình để cái elements á. Tại vì thực ra là đối với cái poem thì cái quan trọng nhất vẫn là cái sound, đúng không? Cái remix, cái sounds và cái rhyming. Thì đầu tiên bạn nên đọc cái bài đó hoặc là bạn nên play cái audio đó, vẫn phân tích cái sound devices trước khi mình vô cái elements. Tại vì mình phải nghe nó trước thì mình mới có cái sense trigger, rồi mình nó mới vô cái element thì nó sẽ hợp lý hơn. Giống như là khi các bạn present về fiction, đúng không? Thì bạn phải có cái summary trước. Bạn có summary trước rồi bạn mới tới elements. You understand các bạn? Đúng là các bạn đều supposed to read the poem again before, but that's much better for you to follow that way.
Dạ hiểu.
Okay, so this Daffodil poem, is it easy for you? Is it easy? Do you like poems?
Dạ không.
Oh my God, with your analysis, I thought that you enjoyed that.
Tại poem nó cũng hơi hàm xúc đó cô. Đọc chuyện thì kiểu nó có cái plot nghe nó kiểu nó thú vị hơn đó cô.
Okay, yes. It depends on your preferences. That is a matter of preference.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay, that's it for our daffodils analysis, and those are the questions we have gone through. Okay, so this group, I would love you to send the PowerPoint slides for your friends, because that is very good ones for your friend to take it as their preferences. Is it okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So there, yeah, you should focus on the questions number 6, 7, yeah, 6, 7. Okay, I guess. Yeah, parts B, 6, 7. Yeah. 6, 7, and 9. Yes, and 9. But you know, like I'm never given the final test with the poem because I find it's difficult for you guys. Yes, but if you want to do research on this, yes, you can take a closer look into number 6. I missed number 5, 5, 6, 7, and 9. 5, 6, 7, and 9. Tức là đó giờ cô chưa có bao giờ cho thơ hết á. Cho nên là cái khả năng ra thơ là nó sẽ thấp. Tại vì á, biết sao? Tại vì cô nghĩ là cô cũng rất là nhân đạo luôn các bạn. Tại vì cô biết là có nhiều bạn không có đi học. Mà không có đi học thì bài thơ sẽ rất là khó để bạn nắm. Đúng không? Giống như bạn Nga nói, thơ nó sẽ không có một cái content nào đó cố định. Tức là nó sẽ nghiêng về cái gọi là cái sense của bạn, cái cảm nhận về cái feeling của tác giả nhiều hơn là cái plot. Tức là fiction thì ít nhất nó có cái plot để mình cover. Thì thí dụ như bạn không đi học thì bạn có thể là bạn đọc lại, bạn hiểu, bạn nắm được, ok, cũng có cái gì đó để nói. Nhưng mà thơ thì có thể nó sẽ hơi căng, cho nên cô sẽ không có ưu tiên ra thơ ha nha. Okay, so that's it everyone. Okay, because I have another class, so I have to stop the class now. Alright, so, hả?
Chưa có feedback với chưa có điểm cô.
I told you.
Dạ chưa.
I told you. Ủa, cô nói rồi mà, 10 mà.
Cô chưa nói cô.
10, cô nói 10 tại vì là nhóm làm tốt, tất cả mọi thông tin đều rất chính xác ha. Có nghĩa là cô không cần phải comment gì cả ha. Thì bởi vậy cô mới nói là cô nghe, cô thấy cái presentation, cô nghĩ là các bạn thích bài thơ này lắm. tại present as if you liked it a lot ha. Tức là đúng, mọi thông tin đều đúng, tất cả mọi thứ đều rất là perfect, nhưng mà chỉ có một chút xíu phần thay đổi, đó là khi mà mình present một bài thơ thì mình nên bắt đầu từ cái chỗ mà sound devices thì nó sẽ ok hơn. Tại vì bạn biết ha, cái sound devices nó chính là cái mà cái sound devices, cái rhythm, cái meter, nó chính là cái mà đập vào người nghe, không phải đập vào người nghe gì, tức là sẽ là cái mà người nghe sẽ observe đầu tiên trước khi tới cái content. Cho nên là mình không cần thiết phải mình address cái content rồi mới tới cái rhythm. Cô thấy cái cách bạn để cái rhythm gần cuối thì nó hơi chưa được hợp lý lắm nha.
Dạ, hiểu.
Ok. Rồi thì được 10 ha. Còn còn những bạn mà được hôm nay phát biểu thì bạn sẽ được bonus ha. Sorry các bạn, cô đang in a rush một chút xíu because I have another class. Ok. Khoa Thi ha, Ngọc, Quyên. Khoa Thi, you have 2 bonus. Ngọc and Quyên, each of you has 1. Is it okay? Okay. Ha, những bạn mà phát biểu 2 lần thì mình sẽ có 2 cái bonus, và những bạn phát biểu 1 lần thì bạn sẽ có 1 cái bonus ha. Và cô cũng make it clear là cô sẽ không có ưu tiên ra bài thơ trong cuối kỳ, cho nên là bạn có thể tại vì thực ra khi mà mình học British literature mà mình chỉ analyze fiction không thì nó cũng chưa có được hiệu quả, cho nên là cô sẽ pick một bài thơ mà nó dễ cho các bạn phân tích là bài này nha. Nhưng mà thi cuối kỳ thì cô nghĩ nó sẽ là fiction đó. Ok.
Cô ơi,
Chào em.
Cô ghi lại cái lịch học tuần sau lên Zalo.
Rồi ok. Không, tuần sau là mình học thứ Tư, K3 và thứ Bảy, ca này.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, but anyway, I will spend the message with the schedule. Yes. Okay. Bye bye everyone. Khoa Thi, Hỷ, Long, Ngọc, and Will, you have the bonus today, and the group presenting, each of you has 10 for your midterm result.
Thảo Linh nữa cô.
Yeah, Thảo Linh. Yeah, Thảo Linh. Okay, yes. Bye bye everyone. Have a nice weekend. Bye bye.
Goodbye, Miss.
Bye bye.